Yes, what would you like to say?
Yeah, Your Honor, I know it's my first and like screw up to be my last, but I did have a couple drinks with my dad.
I'm sorry, what?
I did have a couple drinks with my dad tonight.
Hello,
Hey, good morning.
I'm doing okay. You can unfold your arms. All right. So on this case, it was originally set in this court for something else. So even though he hasn't been indicted, that's why it's being called back to make sure that everybody's keeping up with discovery.
Correct.
So, and is everything okay with that?
That is correct, Your Honor. I believe there was an issue regarding a VR that was filed. And I think
Yes.
that's all.
All right, let's look at the VR. Who's the prosecutor on John Martinez? It's a DWI, and there's a VR report. Have you all had a chance to review the report?
I don't think they have, Judge.
So this is, if you have a seat, they're gonna review that, then I'll call you back up. John Anthony Martinez. Good morning. Hi. Yes, thank you.
Sorry, Judge. You're-
Right. Oh, guys, I'm so sorry. We have an interpreter here. You're the one who needs the interpreter?
Mhm.
So if we could have him step back and we'll take up the person who needs the interpreter
Okay.
first.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, and then you can bring up your other client, counsel.
No, Ms. Martinez.
Just put this on the docket sheet. Deputy Laura, do you see Enrique Hernandez on the docket? Got it. All right, the parties on John Martinez. We're gonna go on the record. Court is calling Night Mag number 707-619, State of Texas versus John Anthony Martinez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
State of Texas.
for the defense?
Leo Gonzalez for John Martinez.
And are you Mr. Martinez?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so the court is in receipt of a motion to substitute counsel, and this attorney is asking to be substituted in as your attorney. Is that correct?
That is correct, ma'am.
All right, do you have any objections to this attorney being substituted in as your attorney? All right, so that will be granted. Now, the next issue we have is the court is in receipt of a violation report. You had a first violation report, and the court ruled upon that. You were to continue with no alcohol use, and the ignition interlock order was to be within 15 days calibrated. So now the court is in receipt of a second violation report. Have both parties had a chance to review the violation report?
Yes, Your Honor.
State,
Yes, Your Honor.
defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
And according to the violation report, there's a high BRAC reading. So who wants to address this issue with the court?
I'll let Mr. Martinez explain to the court what the situation is, Your Honor.
All right, I'm hoping your explanation is not going to be NyQuil or anything of that nature. All right, you want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
John Martinez.
All right, make sure you keep your voice up so that I can hear and court reporter can hear. Yes, what would you like to say?
Yeah, Your Honor, I know it's my first and like screw up. It'll be my last, but I did have a couple drinks with my dad.
I'm sorry, what?
I did have a couple drinks with my dad tonight. I know I'm not supposed to, but I do sober. And I'm hardly like around my family, I hardly see my family, so I just went to go be with them, spend time with them, catch up with them for a little bit.
So does your father love you?
Yes.
Do you think he loves you? Then why would he have you drinking around him? Does he not know you have a DWI? pending?
He knows it does. He did not make me, I make the choice to. Like I said, it was my first screw up and it will be my last.
Let's not use the term screw up. I think screw, that term just sounds so horrible. So you made a bad choice. You drank, you're not supposed to drink. That's a problem for the court. I appreciate you being honest about it, but that's a problem for the court.
Yes.
So state, what are you requesting?
Judge, based off of that, we asked for full house arrest instead.
Judge, he does indicate, as he just told you, he has a job, a good paying job doing solar installation. So in the alternative, we'd ask definitely to prevent any issues going forward, possibly the scram to be considered. The full house arrest, though, would be a concern to his livelihood at this point with the job that he has. This didn't occur during a job site, but maybe weekly meetings with pretrial to make sure that he's no longer using, I think would be a better use of the resources to allow him to continue to work.
Well, see, here's my thing. Why are people never thinking about this? About I have employment, I have family, I have children, I have all of these obligations when they are committing an act that they know they are not allowed to commit. Why is it just now? Oh my gosh, I have a job.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I'm on top of
You can
my
unfold
stuff.
your hands. Yes.
I'm on top of my stuff. I've been doing my calibration tests on time.
But no, you were not on top of your stuff on this day.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. My last, that's a.
How often are you drinking alcohol?
Not often,
What does that mean?
not very often.
No, what does that mean? I'm not with you, so I don't know how often you're drinking or not. If I were in your house with you, I would be able to say, oh, Mr. Martinez drinks on this day and this day and this day. So how often are you drinking alcohol?
Very rarely.
What does that mean? I'm not with you.
Like,
When's the last time you had a drink?
To be honest, the last time, yeah, this past Saturday, that's it. I
This,
didn't drive nowhere, didn't do nothing, just stayed home.
all right, so this past Saturday. So let me just tell you, counsel. Your client know that he's looking at potentially me removing his bond and placing him at the Bexar County Jail, but he continues to drink. So obviously he has an alcohol problem. So the question is, how do we address that? I know he has employment and nobody wants him to lose his employment, but we have issues. So this is what I want you all to do. Maybe there is a sober house for him, maybe where they'll allow him to work. So let's think along those lines. Figure out a solution where he can keep his employment, but we address this issue. So the public is not in danger. I know technically the public, if he's drinking, his car is not going to start, but let's figure out how to address that issue. So if y'all want to confer, because obviously he has a drug and alcohol issue. Obviously, being on bond is not enough to stop the use of alcohol. So we need to come up with a solution, what we can do to protect the community, plus make sure that he is not perhaps driving somebody else's car without an ignition unlock. But so far, it appears that he's been abiding by the rules of blowing into the ignition interlock, even knowing that it's going to be positive. So let's try to figure out a way to protect the community, but get him the help. I'll note that this is the first violation report that's for a high brack reading. The other one had to do with the calibration, and sometimes the machines are not working.
Yes.
So we know that this was a true positive. So you guys put your heads together, see maybe if lifetime recovery will let him be there, but allow him to work because he needs treatment. All right. And so then we'll come back and figure it out. And thank you for being honest. John Anthony Martinez. So have you all come up with a solution?
Well, Judge, we have reached out to pretrial services regarding possible sober link. They have not got back to me yet as of yet. Thing I proposed was partial GPS and Scram and weekly meetings. This would allow him to continue to work and be monitored and to address the alcohol issue.
State, or judge, state, I guess, full house arrest, so that's it.
All right, so this is what I'm gonna have you all come back at 1:30. I'm gonna reach out to his pretrial services officer. Is there no objection? And I'll have the pretrial services officer zoom in and we can see if we can come up with some way for him to have employment, but also protect the community.
Okay.
All right? All right, John Martinez. All right, we're going to go on the record in Night Mag number 707619, State of Texas versus John Anthony Martinez. Can I have the parties reannounced for the record, please? State,
Daniel S. Foreman, State of Texas.
defense.
Leo Gonzalez for John Martinez.
And are you Mr. Martinez?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so we're back. And I have by Zoom Officer Ortiz, which no one had an objection to him being by Zoom. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
No objection from defense either.
All right. Officer Ortiz, did you have a chance to review the violation report for Mr. Martinez?
Yes, Judge.
All right, so Mr. Martinez has admitted to the use of alcohol. And of course, he needs treatment. So first question, lifetime recovery, if he's sent to lifetime recovery, will they still allow him to have employment and to go to work?
That I'm not too sure of, Judge, but once you order treatment, he will be assigned with a treatment officer, and then you will be directed with a different officer for this case, for the treatment.
All right, do you know of any officer who can zoom in and tell us if lifetime will allow him to work? Because he'll need to keep his employment.
Okay, I can try to get somebody right now.
Okay. Or if you could just ask them, is there any objections to him just asking other officers that question?
No, Your Honor.
All right, if there's anyone you can ask and then just let us know.
Okay, let me get that for you.
All right, thank you. So just so everybody know, I am going to order treatment for him because I think he needs treatment. I think everybody is in agreement that he needs treatment, but try to order treatment where he's able to keep his employment.
And he understands that, Judge. He's willing to do whatever he needs to do to show the court that he doesn't have a problem or was working on this problem. He is more concerned about his employment though as well, and how that may affect any sobriety issues as well.
All right. And what is your work schedule? And you're still under oath.
It varies. I do solar, so I don't have a set schedule, just whenever the job is done.
When do they give you your work hours?
Lately I've been going in like around 6 in the morning,
Mhm.
to whatever time the job is done. So can't really say
What days of the week?
Monday to Friday and Saturday sometimes.
Okay, Judge. I just
Yes.
received the response. Yes, if the defendant's in outpatient treatment, he's able to, but if he's in residential, no.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else you can recommend for him?
At this time, on the violation letter, all we had was the DWI education course for alcohol awareness. That's an option that we usually offer you to sign if you want it.
All right. This is what I'm going to do. So I'll continue with no alcohol use. There's to be ignition interlock. That's continue. I'm going to add the DUI, DWI education course, waive fees, substance abuse outpatient treatment, waive fees. And there's to be 90 sober meetings in 90 days. Anything else being requested by the state? You're requesting the GPS?
Yes,
All right, so why is there a request for GPS?
sir. It's out. If you are offering the activity phone petition interlock, that's not the stage that you can't get. You have other people that drinking. We're asking that through part of the state.
All right, so are you saying that he not be allowed to work?
Well, Judge, I understand for the partial, would be an option, but if you have strict guidelines.
Well, with GPS tracking, that way you'll know where he is, if he's at a bar, if he's at a grocery store.
But
All right. Then
And
if-
just for the record, Judge,
Yes.
we don't see how the GPS will in any way behoove him in this situation. Doesn't address the problem of his drinking. The things that you have brought to the court's attention at this time seem to be better alternatives than just straight GPS.
All right, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna waive the fees for GPS and it'll be tracking for 60 days. I'm sorry, not 60 days, 90 days, because that's when he has to do the sober support meetings. And I'm hoping that sober support meetings will address the alcohol issues also with the substance abuse treatment. Usually those are 90 days. So I'm telling you, for 90 days with this GPS tracking, there better not be any sign of you going to bars, going to clubs, because you're not allowed to, you understand? That is not a good place for you to be. Don't go to ball games, sorry, because usually people are drinking beer or eating hot dogs or whatever they do at ball games. So it's probably best for you on this GPS tracking, if you want me to sign off to the removal, that there be no violations. What you should be doing is concentrating on your work and your sobriety. You understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. Is there anything that you need from the court to control your sobriety?
No, you're done.
All right. So I'll do the waive fees on the GPS tracking, and I'll tell you, part of GPS tracking, part of it honestly is for punishment, right? Okay. And make sure you report to your pretrial services officer, Officer Ortiz, and we can go off the record. Do you know who his new officer is going to be?
No, Judge. It's gonna, once we get those orders from you, the new orders, he's gonna get assigned a different officer. And once we see those orders from you signed, we'll go ahead and we'll have him transferred to a GPS officer, and then we'll also follow up with Mr. Martinez with treatment.
All right, and counsel, if you can make sure that you stay in contact, so he'll make sure he has the correct contact information for his pretrial services officer.
Mhm.
All right, is there anything else?
Oh, yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, officer, for zooming in on such short notice.
Yes, Judge. Thank you. May I be excused?
Yes.
And we keep it working like Oouchie the boss. We tryna catch up like we hit us a fault. We gotta win and take